Let's transition and let's talk about the third matchup this year between the sixth-seeded New England Patriots, who are 10-7 on the season. They are traveling to Buffalo to take on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, who are the 3 seed in the AFC. They have 11-6 record. Bills were able to win the AFC East. And back in week 13, the New England Patriots, they beat the Buffalo Bills 14-10. In that matchup, they had over 200 rushing yards for the game. That was the biggest difference in that game. But 3 weeks later, in Foxboro, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, they had a bounce-back performance against the Patriots. They beat the Patriots 33-21. And in that game, Josh Allen, he played well in that game. He had over 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So these two teams are familiar with one another. And we got Belichick versus Sean McDermott with both head coaches. And in this matchup, the key for me is going to be the Buffalo Bills defensively. Will they be able to contain this Patriots dynamic rushing attack? Again, in week 13, the Patriots had 222 total rushing yards. And in that game, Damian Harris, he had 111 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. He averaged over 11 yards per carry. I think he had a big-time run in the first half in that game. And then Stevenson, he had 24 carries, 78 rushing yards. He was great in that game. So the Buffalo Bills, they have shown an inability to stop the run. And then you remember in that game, in the post-game press conference, you heard Micah Hyde. He was frustrated with the reporter who asked him a simple question. Hey, what happened tonight? Like, you guys weren't able to stop the run. And Micah Hyde had the nerve, the audacity to become frustrated with the reporter for asking a simple question. You could not stop the run. You remember that night? It was a Monday night matchup in Buffalo. It was extremely windy. They had snow flurries in that game. And so in that matchup, Mac Jones, he only had 3 passing attempts. 3 passing attempts. So the Buffalo Bills and Sean McDermott, they knew exactly what the New England Patriots were trying to do. They weren't trying to throw the football with Mac Jones in that game at all. So it's going to be important for the Buffalo Bills to be able to stop the run in this game. Defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier, I know this week he is going to put a significant emphasis on his defense at being able to stop the Patriots rushing attack. Leslie Frazier is a proven coach in the NFL. He was a head coach at one point in his career for the Minnesota Vikings. I think he is a pretty good defensive coordinator, but I just don't know if the Buffalo Bills have the personnel that can slow down this Patriots rushing attack. And it's going to be important in this game for them to be able to do that. Again, in week 13, Patriots had 222 total rushing yards. Now, to the Bills' credit, defensively, in week 16, they did a better job at being able to, slow down the Patriots. But the Patriots still had 149 rushing yards. So in week 13, they had 222 rushing yards. In week 16, they had 149 rushing yards. So if they can hold the Patriots to under 100 yards rushing in this game and force the Patriots to have to rely on Mac Jones to win this game for the New England Patriots, I think that is the formula for the Buffalo Bills to be able to win this football game. So that's the key for the Buffalo Bills. Can you force the Patriots to have to rely on Mac Jones? Now, on the season, Buffalo, defensively, they give up 109 total rushing yards per game. That's tied for 13th, in the NFL. So we got to see if they can stop the run. They can stop the run. and force Mac Jones to beat them, they can win this game. Now, obviously, for the Patriots on the season, Mac Jones, he has 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He has over 3,800 passing yards, a 92.5 rating as a passer. Honestly, I got my questions about Mac Jones. He's completed 68% of his passes. I think Mac Jones is a game manager. And out of all the young quarterbacks in the NFL, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, along with Tua, I believe in Mac Jones significantly less than the rest of those quarterbacks I just named. I just don't know if Mac can make enough big-time throws in a playoff game for the Patriots to be able to pull off the upset and beat the Buffalo Bills. And also, I think the Patriots, they don't have enough dynamic playmakers in the passing game to be able to win this game. Like in week 16, Jacoby Myers, he led the Patriots with 6 receptions, 59 receiving yards. You got Bourne at receiver. He had 2 receptions for 33 receiving yards. I just don't know if the Patriots have enough playmakers offensively to be able to win this game. The only way I see the Patriots being able to win this game is for them to expose that suspect run defense by the Buffalo Bills. They need Rhamondre Stevenson. They need Damian Harris to be able to have big-time performances for them to be able to win this game, because I just don't see the Patriots being able to make enough plays in the passing game with Mac Jones to be able to win this game. I don't. Now, let's flip to the Bills offense versus the Patriots defense. I think the Bills are one-dimensional. I think the Bills rely on Josh Allen to be able to win games. And when you look at the Buffalo Bills on the season, they average 252 total passing yards per game. That's ranked 9th in the NFL. They also have 129 rushing yards that they average per game. That's ranked 6th in the NFL. But I don't trust their running game with Singletary. I don't. Like, I feel like this team is led by Josh Allen. And in order for them to be able to have some success, they're going to need Josh Allen to perform at a high level. Josh Allen can't play an average game. He has to play a great game for this Buffalo Bills team to be able to win this game. And again, I think they struggle to run the football, and Belichick is going to take away what you do best and the strength of your team. The strength of this Bills offense is the connection with Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. I expect Belichick to take away Stephon Diggs in this game. So it's going to be important for those other Buffalo Bills receivers, like Dawson Knox, like Gabriel Davis, to help Josh Allen in the passing game. Cole Beasley in the slot for the Bills. He's going to be an important factor for the Bills, to be able to move the football against this good Patriots defense. I think Stephon Diggs will struggle. Last week against the Jets, Diggs had 9 receptions for 81 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. Against the Patriots in week 16, Diggs, he had a great game. 7 receptions, 85 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. But in that game, for the Buffalo Bills, Isaiah McKenzie, the receiver, he stepped up. So he's going to be important as well. In that game, in week 16, McKenzie, 11 receptions, 125 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. He had a great game. So it's going to be important for McKenzie, Knox, Davis. They're going to have to make some plays in the passing game for the Bills to have a chance. Cole Beasley in the slot. He's someone who has, played in the postseason. He's a proven NFL receiver. Can he make some plays in the passing game for Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills team? That's going to be important. It's going to be very, very important. And defensively, I like this Patriots team. I really, really do. They are ranked second in the NFL against the pass. They give up 187 passing yards per game. That's great when it comes to being able to stop the opposing team from passing the football in a football game. So that's going to be key. And you can run the football against this Patriots defense. They give up 123 rushing yards per game. But the Bills' strength is throwing the football. And that also plays into the strengths of the Patriots' passing defense. But again, Patriots struggle at being able to stop the run, but the Bills, I don't think they have dynamic playmakers at the running back position. Singletary, and I just don't really believe in this Buffalo Bills rushing attack. Like Zach Moss, I don't believe in their rushing attack. I really, really don't. And I think if they had a dynamic rushing attack, you know, they can exploit this Patriots run defense. But the Patriots defensively, they give up 18 points per game. That's ranked second in the NFL, and they're fifth on third down. So they get off the field. They get off the field 37% of the time on third down. So they get off the field, and I think it's going to be important for the Patriots defensively to be able to make some plays, because we don't believe in Mac Jones as being a quarterback that's going to score 28 or 34 points. In order for the Patriots to win this game, their formula is going to have to be a low-scoring game like it was in Week 13 when the Patriots traveled to Buffalo and they won 14-10. It's going to be that same type of game in order for the Patriots to be able to pull off the upset. So defensively, you got Lawrence Guy up front. You got Deontay Hightower at linebacker. You got Kyle Van Noy at linebacker. And then in the secondary, you got J.C. Jackson, Devin McCourty. These are going to be some key components on this Patriots defense that's going to have to contain the Buffalo Bills' dynamic passing game. If Guy can apply some pressure, Christian Barmore, Dedrick Wise Jr. up front, they're going to have to be able to apply some pressure on that Bills, offense. Matthew Judon, he's a playmaker for the Patriots. I think the Patriots defense is a good defense. I really, really do. I think they're one of the best defenses in the NFL. That's Bill Belichick's expertise. So, again, I think the Patriots will be ready in this game defensively for what the Bills throw at them. I just wonder if they have enough playmakers to slow down this Buffalo Bills passing attack. I know how great Stephon Diggs is, but again, Beasley, Knox, Davis, McKenzie, they're going to have to help Josh Allen in the passing game for the Bills to have a chance. I think for the Patriots to win this game, they have to win this matchup. They got to win with their defense versus the Bills' offense. If they can do that, and the weather is horrible in Buffalo, and then also they don't even have this game sold out in Buffalo. So there's no real home field advantage, and it's supposed to snow in Buffalo. Given how these two teams play and the strength of their team, the weather in Buffalo is advantage Patriots, because the Patriots, they run the football and they have a dynamic rushing attack with Harris, with Stevenson, with Bolden, compared to the Bills, who are a passing football team. They want to throw the ball all over the field with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I don't think that plays into the hands of what the Buffalo Bills want to do. I think that goes against them in this game with the weather. I think the weather plays to the Patriots' strengths more so than the Bills' strengths. So I think the Patriots got a chance to pull off the upset in this game. I think the Buffalo Bills are a better football team, but it's going to be an interesting game. I want to see how Josh Allen performs in the playoffs. This is a good measuring stick for how Josh Allen is as a playoff performer. You saw last year, he led the Buffalo Bills to the AFC Championship game, in the wild card game against Phillip Rivers and the Colts. Josh Allen, he had over 300 passing yards in that game. He had 2 touchdowns. So, Josh Allen, maybe he's gotten over, his playoff struggles. His first playoff game against the Texans a few years ago, he struggled. Last year, he was much better in the postseason for the Bills. We'll see what he has in store. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game over the New England Patriots. I like Buffalo to beat the New England Patriots 27-17. I got Josh Allen, 27, Mac Jones, 17. I just don't know if the Patriots have enough firepower to keep up with this Bills team. And I just don't trust Mac Jones yet to make big-time throws in a playoff game. I don't. And that's my biggest issue with the Patriots. If they had a quarterback like Derek Carr in this game, I would favor the Patriots to beat the Bills. I just don't trust Mac Jones yet. I don't. And I think in Week 16, the way the Bills was able to win that game and how they were able to, expose the Patriots in the passing game, I think that's going to carry over into this playoff matchup. And I think it's going to be a recipe for success for the Buffalo Bills. Again, in that Week 16 game, Josh Allen, 30 of 47, 314 total passing yards, 3 touchdowns. I think that's going to carry over. I think McKenzie, Beasley, Dawson Knox, I think they're going to elevate their games and help Josh Allen in the passing game. And I think the Bills are going to beat the Patriots 27-17.